I want you today to turn around and to ask yourself, where in your life have you been giving up on you? Where have you declared something for yourself? You want to buy the bigger house, but then you don't think that that extra mortgage payment that you're worthy of it, or you feel like you might be judged by somebody else if you have it, or if you buy a new car, or if you wear that color outfit. The judgment that you're interpreting as, oh, I don't want to be seen this way, could also be you not feeling like you're worthy of having that or being that or living that. And I want you to know today that you are. Welcome to the Empowered Life Podcast, a space dedicated to one belief that you have the power within to create everything you seek. So if you are ready to step into a new kind of higher learning, the kind that leads to true personal freedom, hang here with me. I'm your host, Rudi Riekstins, and this is the Empowered Life. I'm Rudi Riekstins, and welcome to the Empowered Life Podcast. I want to ask you a question today, right up front. Where are you quitting on you? Where are you giving up on the things that you want because for some reason you don't feel worthy, you don't feel like you're ready for it yet, the stars haven't aligned, maybe it's too much money and you think that you should best put your money in another area? I ask this question because I work in a space where I'm constantly supporting people to hold a vision for themselves of their highest and their greatest potential, to tap into the inner knowing of who they are and who they've come here to be, and to start taking corrective steps towards living that highest and greatest potential. And so often, I find that people are quitting on themselves. We think that the reason that we don't have so many of the things that we want is because we weren't born into the right family, or we didn't have the right opportunities, or because the right people didn't come into our lives. And in reality, it is always down to the individual. We can watch these incredible movies and read books, biographies of people that were born in very difficult environments or people that had very difficult situations. They overcame tremendous levels of situation to support them in living the life that they want. I mean, I'm thinking of all of the different stories that I could share or mention right now, but I think we get the point. And it's not the adversity that held people back. It's like there was something deeper in them that made them push through to get to the other side. And then for a large percentage of people globally, it's not even adversity that holds us back. It's these small micro moments that say to us, well, that's not ready for us. And so I love to teach. And I think that this podcast is a reminder for so many people that we get to live big, bold, and unapologetic lives. We get to walk out and be offensively happy. We get to show, just by being who we are, what does it look like to be the most incredible, abundant, joyful, happy, and I want to say full human beings. And the only way to do that is for us to believe in ourselves and to take the necessary steps every single day towards that life that we want to live. And then one day we're going to wake up and, man, we're going to be living that life. And that is really at the foundation what this podcast is about taking these micro moments, these small things that we so often don't think about, and then spending 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour unpacking them so that the next time you come up against one of these moments, you can stop and ask yourself, man, where am I doing that in my life? And so the point of today's episode is really to two things. One, I want to tell you a story about something I came up with recently. And as you know, through my life, I love to teach what I've gone through. It means somebody's going through it right now, and there's value in that. And the second is that you can turn around and say, where are you currently doing it? Because I guarantee you, if you're honest with yourself, you're going to find you do this a lot, and that you are the sole reason, not all of the adversity, not of the situations, not the environment that has held you back from being able to achieve it. It's something within you, and it almost inevitably always comes down to a belief, conscious or unconscious. For 15 years now, I have been saying to my wife, man, I wish I could have a really good group of guy friends. And I have friends, and I have guys that are friends, but I don't have a group of guy friends. And I've always admired people that have these groups outside of their relationship meaning with their spouse, where they go on weekend trips away or they stay in touch. My wife has a group of girls. They all went to college together. They were sorority sisters and they called themselves the Niners because they were 9 girls and they are still so incredibly close today. 8 out of the 9 girls are still in daily communication with each other. In a text thread, they do trips once a year together. And I've always admired that. And I've always thought, wow, wouldn't that just be the most incredible friendship to have in a group like that where you've transitioned so many different aspects of your life with these groups of people and they really know all the different versions of who you are and they watch you grow and evolve and as you get married and have kids and become a parent, etc. And I've never had that. I have my steady group of individual friends and I am very selective in who I spend my time with and in the people that are closest to me. And that is a choice because I understand that I have a finite amount of time and I spend time with the people that are the most important to me, and everything else has to take a secondary seat in my life. And that may very well have been the cause for a lot of the reasons why I don't have these pockets of guy friends. But over the years, it has been growing and growing, and the desire to have a group of guy friends has become loud within me. And so a few years ago, I said to Aniston, when we were sitting down at the end of a year and declaring what are our goals that we would like for the new year, what are we attracting, what are we calling in, I had said to her, I would like to call in a very close knit group of incredible guy friends. And I think I'm ready to have this, to carve time away from my family, from my relationship with her, to also include a group of guy friends that can support me, see me, and I'm ready for that next level of friendship. And I put that down as one of my goals. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you because that's a big thing. Because I spent all my time with Anderson, all my time with my kids, and then micro moments with the other people in my life that are important to me. And so she supported the goal. And about 4 months later, a friend messages me and says, man, I'm going on a dive trip. Would you like to come with? And it's going to be going here, here, and here. And it's going to be one of the most incredible dive trips you could ever imagine. I mean, we're going to swim with whales and we're going to swim with thousands and thousands of sharks. It's just going to be the most incredible experience. And it's going to be for 10 days on a liveaboard boat. And so I paid the money and I don't even forget, it could have been $4,000 or $6,000 that I paid to go on this trip. And it was about 8 months out to wait for this trip. And I got really excited. And as the time got closer and closer and closer to eventually taking this trip, 2 months before I pulled out, non-refundable, lost my money, lost my seat on the boat. And it's not like I got my money out. I just decided I don't know if I want to commit to 10 days of my vacation time because I'm busy and not have that be with my family. That was my reasoning to my family of why I chose not to go on this trip. And that if I was going to get 10 days away from my business, I would want it to be with Aniston and we could go to Hawaii, which is what we did. We ended up taking our family to Hawaii. And so I chose my family over a guy's trip, which had been one of my goals beginning of that year. And the following year, I didn't go on another trip. I was invited on another guy's fishing trip, chose not to do that. And fast forward to this past year, that desire to have a group of guy friends grew. And so I said to Aniston, I really feel called to call in a group of guy friends. And she said to me, I really think that it would be game changing for you just to be with a group of people who are achieving tremendous things and that you respect and appreciate, and they respect and appreciate you. And it's a very different caliber and quality relationship. She's like, I encourage you to find a group of guys. And fast forward to a few months back, I get invited to join a men's group, paid for program. And I say no. And Anderson says to me, why would you not do that? I said, because I don't want to pay to be in a men's group. So I'm going to purchase a group of guy friends. I was like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for really good people that I get to hang out with. And she says, well, I think you're silly and I think you should reconsider. And so I don't sign up for this men's group out of principle. And fast forward 2 months in, the same host of this men's group reaches out to me and says, man, we've got a men's group and it's going to be a mastermind and we're going to go skiing and it's going to be incredible. And I would love for you to join. And this is how much it's going to cost. And I go to Anderson and I say, oh, I was invited to this thing. And she's like, you should go. And again, I'm like, well, that's another $6,000 or $8,000. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, do I want to invest my money in that? And do I want to invest my money in that right now? Do I want to take that money and go away with my family and create another memory? And yet it was gnawing at me that I've been wanting this group of guy friends. And so, long story short, I wake up one day and I just say to her, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go on this trip. And so I pay the money and I end up going on this incredible 6-day weekend away. And I met an unbelievable group of about 35 unbelievable human beings. And it was just an incredible weekend with some beautiful human beings who are all navigating life. They've achieved different levels and semblances of success. And it was my kind of room. Everyone is open to learning, to growing, to changing, to supporting, to being encouraging. I ended up speaking as one of the speakers at this event. And I share all of this with you because so many times I wanted to quit on my own dream because I didn't want to bet on me. And at no point was it about the money, even when that level of money was a lot. It was about whether I thought I was worthy of it. And I came up with every reason to say no and almost said no to this event. And I decided to film this episode today because yesterday I received about 5 messages from 5 different men inside of this container where they separately sent me text messages just to say like, man, you're just such an incredible human being. One guy sent me a message to wish me a happy birthday and said, I've never met anybody like you. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And I felt the same way about each one of these men. And I realized my whole world has expanded since having attended this event. And I've included so much more space into my day, into my life for other people that's not just my immediate family. I also get supported, seen, celebrated, encouraged, and held accountable at a level that I don't get at home. And it's beautiful, not only to be able to support other people, to laugh and joke with other guys, but to also get that level of support and encouragement that I give so freely of myself every day in my life, in my family environment, with my friends, and then within my business. And I'm just getting it from a group of guys. And I didn't have to earn it. I just got it because I was there and I was available to it. And I was thinking, reading those messages yesterday, man, I almost pulled out of this event as well. 1 week before, I was asking myself, do I really want to commit to 5 or 6 days, a day each way traveling there? Do I want to sit in a room with this group of guys and this is a paid for event versus just organically meeting a good group of guys? And I almost didn't go. And yesterday, receiving those messages and reading them and just being grateful for these newfound friendships that I have that have become so deep, so fast, overnight, it really left me thinking about where else in my life have I had a dream or a goal or a desire, and I quit on myself because the fundamental reason for me not going on the dive trip 2 years before, or the fishing trip, or many of the other golf trips that were available to me was because for some reason I didn't feel worthy of that level of friendship. And I didn't think that I was worthy of the investment in time. And I don't think that was conscious because consciously I was saying, I really want to have this tight group of guys. I really want to have this level of relationship. I really want to have this kind of support. And then unconsciously, I would say, oh, it's too much money. Oh, not now. Oh, I should rather take a trip with my family. Oh, it would be selfish of me to do this. And so I've been having that internal dialogue, a war, if you will, between what I want and what it is that I believe unconsciously I'm worthy of having. And I want you today to turn around and to ask yourself, where in your life have you been giving up on you? Where have you declared something for yourself? You want to buy the bigger house, but then you don't think that that extra mortgage payment that you're worthy of it, or you feel like you might be judged by somebody else if you have it, or if you buy a new car, or if you wear that color outfit. The judgment that you're interpreting as, oh, I don't want to be seen this way, could also be you not feeling like you're worthy of having that or being that or living that. And I want you to know today that you are. And I really have, for the last few hours, 24 hours, been feeling this feeling of like, man, what would my life look like if, when I declared these new visions for myself, acknowledged the desires that I have, and didn't quit on myself because I'm worthy? And that I acknowledge, because I have the original thought, the want, the need, that should be enough for me to take the action, regardless of what circumstance is telling me I should or shouldn't do. And so instead of quitting on yourself today, where could you double down on something that you want, somewhere you want to be, something you want to have, and following through? Because on the other side of that is you receiving the messages that I got yesterday, or feeling the level of fulfillment or reward, or finally having something that you could have had 10 years ago or 15 years ago if you'd created the space to be able to do it. So ask the question and take the action. And I'll catch you in the next episode of the Empowered Life Podcast. If this episode gave you clarity, peace, or a perspective shift, hold on to that. And here is how you lock it in. Subscribe so that you keep building momentum week after week. And if you're the kind of person that believes a good message should travel, please leave a review. Reviews aren't just ratings. There are signals that help this reach the people who are ready for it. And then share this episode with somebody you love, someone you lead, or somebody that you were rooting for. Links are in the show notes so that you can connect with me online and on Instagram. Now go out there and take one beautiful, bold, and aligned step and make it count. I'm going to catch you on the next episode of the Empowered Life Podcast.